Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Blair Best. We begin with breaking news here at noon. Within the last hour, we learned that country music star and legend Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80. Her nephew made the announcement on social media this morning. Chloe Melas has a look back on the global star's life and legacy.
On the radio,
there is no such thing as natural beauty.
on the screen,
We've got chocolate and yellow cake mix.
and even in the baking aisle. Dolly Parton did it all. Singer, songwriter, actress, philanthropist, businesswoman.
I was my own woman from day one.
Here you come again.
In her lifetime, Parton wrote and performed over 3,000 songs, 25 of them #1 hits. Dolly Parton's road to superstardom began in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in 1946. The fourth of 12 children, Parton described herself as dirt poor.
My coat of many colors.
Those modest roots and her actual childhood coat inspired hit songs like Coat of Many Colors. She started performing at church, and at age 13, Parton appeared at the Grand Ole Opry. After high school, she moved to Nashville. 3 years later, she scored her first hit single and was on her way.
Jolene, 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 Jolene.
Amazingly, Parton penned 2 of her most famous songs in one burst of creativity.
We were looking through my files to get all my old cassettes when they were putting them on the hard drive. Jolene and I Will Always Love You were on the same cassette. So that must have been a really good night.
And I will always love you.
And while Parton sang a version of I Will Always Love You that reached #1 on country charts, it was Whitney Houston's version of her song that made history. With over 24 million copies sold, it remains one of the best-selling singles of all time.
And Hart wants me to take papers to his lawyer. I'm going to be gone all afternoon.
In 1980, Parton made her foray into films, co-starring in 9 to 5 at the suggestion of Jane Fonda. More films followed, including Steel Magnolias in 1989. In her hometown of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, she opened Dollywood, a successful theme park, and she launched a childhood literacy program, providing free books to children, mailing up to 2 million books globally each month. Though she was long famous for her blonde wigs, in the end, Parton was best known for her body of work and the legions she inspired. Chloe Melas, NBC News.
What a legend. Okay, back here in Oregon, we are learning more about the victims of the mass killing near Forest Grove that left 5 people dead. Investigators tell us among those 5 victims are 3 generations of one family, along with close friends. Alma McCarty has more details on the victims as well as their connection to the suspect.
First, it was firefighters and a report of a burning car.
I heard sirens. All I knew is because I thought it just because of the car fire. I didn't know anything else that went on.
This is some suspicious circumstances, certainly. So we're gonna disconnect our hoses and get out of here and let the sheriff's office clear this, and then we'll return up.
Then, Washington County Sheriff's deputies who found 5 people dead early Saturday at this rural property just outside Forest Grove.
Chief guy came down here, talked to us and said be aware and all that, and to be aware, keep everything locked up.
On Monday, deputies identified the victims. One of them, the property owner, 60-year-old Rowan Kimsey, who lived here with her daughter, 26-year-old Stella Kimsey. Investigators revealing the suspect, Stella's boyfriend, 36-year-old Benjamin Parker, lived here too. Police found him dead of an apparent suicide, they say, in Enumclaw, Washington, near Tacoma on Sunday, in a grocery store parking lot.
Last hit was him coming into the city, and he had not left, so we had a good indication that he was still here.
Cell phone pings and flock cameras helping detectives track Parker down.
Here's the plate and the car that you're looking for. We go to the flock system, we put the plate in. We could see that he'd hit a couple of our cameras.
The 3 other victims include Rowan's mother and Stella's grandmother, 85-year-old Mary Elizabeth Kimsey, Stella's best friend, Lindsay Haroldson, and Alvin Shue, Lindsay's partner. All 3 investigators say from Portland.
And we are expecting an update from Washington County detectives this afternoon at 2:30. So you can watch that news conference live on our free TV streaming app. We will also bring you the latest on air and our website, KGW.com. And we want to remind you that if you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thoughts, help is available 24/7. All you have to do is dial the number there on your screen. That's 988. Okay, a big national headline this noon. Canada has officially announced new tariffs on U.S. goods. They range from 15 to 50% on more than 700 American goods, with the hardest hit being U.S. steel and aluminum. The move comes in response to tariffs the U.S. put on Canadian goods.
Canada must respond, and today we are, in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada is the second largest export market for U.S. products and Oregon's fourth largest export market. Canada's new tariffs are set to go into effect on September 8th. Well, 2 people have died of measles in Pennsylvania, marking the nation's first such deaths this year. State health officials say both people were unvaccinated and emphasize that getting the MMR vaccine is the best way to protect yourself from the disease. According to the Center for Disease Control, more than 2,700 measles cases have been reported nationwide so far this year, a more than 20% increase from all of last year, and the highest number of cases in 35 years. All right, let's step outside and take a look from our Wells Fargo Skycam. It's a little hazy out there, but if you look close enough, you see the sun is trying to shine through. Let's get right to Chris McGinnis in the Weather Center. Chris, it's not supposed to be as hot as yesterday.
No, it's certainly not. You know, we hit 93 yesterday, so that was the hot day of the week, and we're going to slowly stair-step it down over the next couple of days. In fact, there are a number of days in our 7-day forecast where highs don't get out of the 70s. How about that for some late August comfort? All right, right now, the spring to the waterfront, again, showing that haze that Blair mentioned. It's 77 degrees right now at Pearson Airfield. The state capitol, a little hazy right now in Salem as well, not as much as here across the metro, currently 76. And again, back to that Wells Fargo sky camera. All of this, by the way, is wildfire haze from the wildfires burning in the Mount Hood National Forest and up and around the Hood River and actually in Clackamas County, I should say. And air quality, there are a couple of reports of moderate air quality right now in Clackamas and Marion County, and also one sensor up in Washington County showing moderate air quality. Also a cluster of moderate to at times unhealthy for sensitive group air quality showing up towards Baker City, where the prevailing wind over the next 24 hours will again drive most wildfire smoke out of the Willamette Valley, but keep it centered over central and portions of eastern Oregon as well. So there is an air quality alert in effect out there until noon. Locally, hazy sun in our forecast. Temperatures inching into the low to mid 80s this afternoon. I've got us stopping at about 86 to 88 degrees. So yes, not as warm as yesterday. We'll continue that cool down as we go into the middle part of the work week. We've got that for you in just a few minutes.
Okay, Chris, we'll see you soon. Well, back to school season is now in full swing with dozens of districts returning to class this week. That includes the second largest school district in Oregon, the Beaverton School District. And Mo Hyder takes us to Shoals Heights Elementary.
Here at Shoals Heights Elementary School in Beaverton, the students have officially arrived for the first day of class, and it's going to be the first of many for these students. New classrooms, new books, new supplies, just an overall new experience. Shoals Heights Elementary is just one of 34 elementary schools in the Beaverton School District. The district has 53 schools serving about 36,000 students. Today we saw many families here at Shoals Elementary really just capturing these special moments. Families who live nearby were walking together, others parked down the street and walked from there. We saw many taking pictures in front of the building so they can remember all these special moments as well. We also spoke with the school's principal, who said there's a big focus on being there for one another as they start the new year.
Get to know the other people in the community. Our school community really reaches out and helps each other. We have things like walking school bus. Our PTO has evening events. I think the more connections you can make with other families, whether it's at dismissal or arrival and those kinds of things, help also with the belonging. We do a lot in the building, but I think that's a great way for families to connect.
And today is the first day for elementary school students as well as 6th and 9th graders. The rest of the high school students will begin first day of class tomorrow. In Beaverton, Mo Hyder, KGW News.
Oh, that brings me back. Okay, today is also the first day of school for Vancouver Public Schools. Grades 1 through 5, as well as 6th and 9th grade, all head back to class today. 7th and 8th graders and 10th through 12th grade will start tomorrow. The new Vancouver superintendent says he is focused on getting students back up to speed post-pandemic. And he's also focused on the district's $24 million budget deficit.
I think when you're trying to work through those two things simultaneously, a lot of times a school district will have to focus on how are we stabilizing budget and or how are we working on academics, and we're going to hit both at the same time. So we're going to have a very exciting road ahead of us, but a very busy road ahead of us.
I would say so. Kindergartners with Vancouver Public Schools go back on Friday.